Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great day today. Um, it's typical of the Friday before a long weekend. It was pretty slow. We had a little movement in the morning, a little bit of activity, but um, right after lunch, the volume went. Actually, the volume was starting to leave about 10:30 in the market. You started seeing some of the larger names start to lose some volume, and that just meant people were done, padding their customer accounts and, ready to take their vacation. So we didn't see much opportunity after lunch. I know right around 11 or so, we had HOG, some news came out, and that gave a good news play. But other than that, it just did not seem like you were going to get a whole lot of opportunity to make any money. What I'm going to do is go over my trade from yesterday and today. Just so happens is both on the same ticker. So, and it was kind of a tale of 2 days. So it was a little bit different today than yesterday. So what on MBLY yesterday, it was on my watch list, and it was a gap up. I don't think I could see it, but it was a gap up, and it was on some good news that BMW was going to partner with these guys to help develop the driverless car for them. I think, there's some people that have a Tesla has it, which was involved in a fatal accident. But I forgot what Tesla calls it. It was autopilot or something like that. But they're looking to develop a completely driverless car, and at least that's what the word on the street was. So I was looking long off of this level or this level. You can see where pre-market it was holding this 45.40. It was above the VWAP, above the 9, and then like clockwork, after 9 o'clock it starts to pull in, and we lose all of this. But what usually happens at the open, it'll gap and start to run up. So I was looking for an opening range breakout. I really almost convinced myself to go long right off of 45.40. But that was a little bit more risky. That's not how I trade. So I would have been breaking my own rules. Even though it would have worked out, it would have been more risky. I'd have been breaking my own rules. And one thing that I'm adamant about is practicing what I preach. I'm not going to preach and help other traders that I'm mentoring, and I'm telling them these are the rules that I follow, and I feel these can help you stay out of trouble, and then I turn around and break them. Now, of course, I'm going to break one here and there because you have to play the market, you have to play the chart. And if the chart tells you to do something because it's going to contradict what your rules are, then yeah, you may have to break it. Because we are traders, we are here to make money and take advantage of opportunities that present themselves. But just to break your rule just because you feel confident that something's going to run, because it could have turned and gone the other way. So that's why I wait the first 5 minutes anyway. But you can see this put in a big range candle. This was $2.21 on a 5-minute candle. And that's just incredible. That took up pretty much the whole trading range I was looking at. So what I did was I knew I didn't want to go short. All I wanted to see was a pullback to VWAP so that I could get in risking on VWAP. So I could have a good defined risk on a solid support that held, and that would give me the risk tolerance that I am comfortable with, and I felt that it would give me the strongest move, back up versus it turning around in the middle of nowhere. But it lost the VWAP, lost this 4670 level and the 9 on this. But it did come back, and I waited until it got over this 4670 and over the VWAP before I actually took an entry. And I waited for a 2-minute candle to close above all of that, because I figured if I waited for this 5, it would be too late. And really, it wouldn't have been any different, because I probably would have got in at the same price, give or take a couple cents. But I did get in here, and my first target was a cover at 47.70. It was getting held up at 60, and that was, just part of me reading the price action. So I went ahead and took a quarter off here, because I knew if it got up and pushed this, I'll wait 10 cents on the other side and take another quarter off, and the only thing I would have lost was that extra ticket, which was about $6. But, you don't think about that. Once I'm in a trade and I have my targets, I won't even think about commission cost or whatever. Every time I take a cover, I'm not even thinking about that, because I know if I'm hitting my targets, I'm more than paying for commission. So that doesn't even enter my mind anymore. But I ended up getting this one up here at 47.89, so I got a little bit extra out of it. But what disappointed me was I took another quarter off right when I got a point. And for some reason in my mind, I wanted to cover for a point. If that was the case, I should have held this one and then covered it for a point. For the other, so I could at least have half to either cover here or look to push up. Now I would have covered half here, because this candle I didn't like. It ran up, it touched 49 and pulled back in, closed below this 48.78. Now this was my ultimate target anyway. So when this candle opened weak, I went ahead and took it off. Actually, I had made up my mind when I saw what this candle did that I was going to go ahead and take it off, because I was at my target, and had it continued to go up, that's fine. I'm not going to get mad at that, because I executed my plan and I booked profits. You're not going to go broke booking profits like this, but you will go broke being greedy, trying to see just how much you can get. So, it's kind of a double-edged sword. So that's why I preach, if it's in my plan to take and leave a quarter on and see where it goes, I'm going to make sure I booked enough profit to where I can comfortably let a quarter ride and then possibly come back to break even. But the main thing is, you want to make sure you lock up at least 3/4 of what you have on when you reach your ultimate target. But when I see something like this is what we like to see at a top reversal. We like to see this inverted hammer, which I call a reversal hammer. The hammers I call reversals. So, that told me right there what I needed to know. I didn't short this, and this was a good short on the way back down. When it's hot, when the market's hot, these are the type moves I like. I take it up to resistance, dump it, then turn around and short it on the way back to, the VWAP or the level that it broke out from. But I was determined not to short anything early because of how strong the market was. So I waited and waited, and I was looking for this to break this 46.70, because I felt once we lost this, we would get a good move down. So once we lost it, I went ahead and got short. at I think 46.66. And this is the move I was looking for. I was looking for that flush. But unfortunately, this happened after close. But it pulled back, it pulled in a little bit, and then it got bought right back up. And because my plan was a close above these levels, I'm out. And it just barely got above it and just kind of teased everybody, and then ended up making a little move. Nowhere near the wash that I was expecting, but I'm okay with that because I stuck to my plan. And you have to be okay with things when they don't work out. You have to be okay. You're a winner because you stuck to your plan. Because a lot of times you won't, and say the next time this happens, and I'm like, okay, I remember at MBLY, and it just toyed with me, and then it, sold off. So if I just hold it and wait for the sell off, I'm gonna be fine. Well, there's no guarantee you're gonna get this. This could have just as easily pushed up, pop VWAP, and kept going. Or it could have easily given you a 50, 60 cent range on a candle and, stopped you out. So at an even higher price. So you have to stick to your plan. I don't trade money. I don't trade looking at money. I trade hitting marks on my chart. My chart, the marks I make are set up to where I know they're going to give me profit. I know I'm going to make enough money on this trade in order for it to make sense, if it works out. There's no guarantee that the trade will work, but the plan is there and the opportunity is there. And I just need to stick to my plan. And that's a big focus, and that's, what I did on this. Okay, today, same stock, but it didn't hit my watch list because this did not gap up or anything. It didn't gap up enough for it really to hit my watch list. Besides, it was actually red. It actually opened red on the day because here's yesterday's close. So it was actually a slight gap down. But the thing is, I only had 2 tickers on my watch this morning. So this one was still populated on one of my charts. I only watched 3, well, really 4 charts. One is a SPY, and I've got 3 open. So this was just on the chart above my SPY from yesterday, and I only had the other 2 that I was watching this morning, populated. So it just so happens I looked over and I saw it, it running up, and I was like, looks just like yesterday. So I'm gonna keep my eye on this thing. So today, we only got like a 90-cent candle. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like 5-minute open range breakout. So I'm typing it in chat, and I come back and I about missed this damn thing. I was right at to where I couldn't take it. This was a very late entry, and this is why I try to type what I'm doing in chat, because this wasn't on my watch, and I didn't want you to think I pulled it out of nowhere. So this is what got me in late. I had the idea. I knew I wanted to get in, somewhere here at 46.40s. I didn't get in until 46.60. But that was right at the max that I could get in, risking off the top of this candle. I couldn't let it test the VWAP or anything because this was my line in the sand. But we did get a nice strong move up. I was able to cover some at 47.27. Was very lucky to top tick this. You really don't get a chance to do that often. But the way it happened was I was changing the price in my montage. I was just click, 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 click. And I was trying to get 25, but it ended at 27. So I went ahead and sent it. And sure enough, 27 hit. It hit it, and then it pulled back to 25. And, that was history. So I still had another piece left. I was waiting to see if it was going to bounce off of this and then pull back. But remember, my entry was here, so I couldn't let it go too far. And, once it pulled back to here, I had to get out of it. It was running down, and I just wanted to get out. I was still pretty, irritated about the entry I got. So really just protected profits here. So I got out and I said, I'll wait and see if it bounces off VWAP. If it does, I'll take it. And, that was my plan. So it came back, pulled back to VWAP, and we got to push. But I said it needs to get over this 46.70. And once it got over it, that's when I went ahead and got in. Not to 46.80. So this was another bad entry. But I was risking off of this 46.70 when I really should have been risking off VWAP. But I was being safe because of how strong this level was all day yesterday. It was pretty strong in the trade yesterday, the 46.70. So it did give me some pause, and I got in here. And it really just grinded up. I didn't like it at all. And really should have dumped it all once I got up here. And it gave me some decent profit. But I didn't. Just try to split it. Because the problem was, when I tried to catch this, I only got filled 400 shares. I wanted to get 1,200 again, but it only filled me 400 shares. And I really should have dumped it all up here. But, still wanting to get this level, I went ahead and took 200 off here and let the other 200 ride, and it came all the way back and stopped me out. Now, here's the problem. I was punching in, my stop, because I got tired all through here, just sitting here looking at this. I'm ready to get out of town. I'm ready to start packing. I had to wash some clothes. So I put a hard stop in right here on, I think it was at 46.83 or 84. Somewhere in there was where the VWAP was at that time. And I went ahead and put that in. But on the montage, it had 1,200 shares. So instead of 200, I had 1,200. So when this thing stopped me out, it sold my 200 and cleared the rest that was left from this trade and put me short 1,000 shares, which really made me sick. And I didn't see it until it was on this candle. I didn't see it. I walked away from the computer to go put some clothes in the washing machine. Put the clothes in the washing machine in the dryer, come back, and this thing my stop had fired, and I'm short. So that was just a classic mistake. And, it's no excuse for it, because it can cost you money. It could have cost me my whole day's profits. It's just one of those things that you hate. It worked out for me. I was able to make a little money, but it's not something that you want to have as part of your trading, and it really affects you. It bothered me that I actually made that mistake, because I feel like I'm at a point where those type mistakes I shouldn't really make. And another reason why I should continue to work on getting these hotkeys set up to where I can actually use them, because that would prevent me from putting an order in for more shares than I could stand. Now the only reason, now if it was Insure Trader, it probably would have worked because I wouldn't have had the buying power. But being that it's in Speed Trader, I can't protect myself from doing stupidity like that. So, I'm going to be a little bit more careful, going forward. But I did cover some here, and I think it was at 40 or 35, 46.35. I covered some, and I left some on to see, if we could get down, if we could push this. I wasn't really comfortable that we would get through this, but it came back up, and I ended up stopping out once it reclaimed the VWAP, and that was that. So it was a lucky trade. It did, net me some decent profits, but it was just upsetting that I actually made that mistake. So those were the two trades from today. I can show you my month. Ended up pretty good. I didn't make 10. I was trying to hit 10, but missing Monday and having a losing trade to start out the day with on Tuesday, kind of prevented that from happening. I did a good job here, did a good job on Thursday, and just trading these 3 days. And this day, I mean, even if I took this day off, this still would have been my best week, just trading these 2 days. So I feel like I've turned the corner. I just had to go back and read my notes from last year and start trading the way I learned how to trade through the same ordeal last year. And, it worked out. So, pretty decent week month for the summer. July, I'm going to start focusing more on my small account and, trying to help all of the traders that I'm working with that have these accounts similar to this one. I want to replicate what I did, and it was a process. It wasn't me making, $6,000-$7,000 in 1 month. Ross did it because he was using more risk. He used 90% of his 95% of his buying power on all his trades, and he showed you can grow it fast, but it's an inherent risk, and you really have to know what you're doing. But most of the new traders aren't at his level, and they're going to have a hard time trying to do it. So you have to do it in steps. You got to take baby steps. And that's what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to show you that, how you get to the next level. Because you got to take baby steps before you can trade like that. You got to take baby steps. And here, Ross will be the first one to tell you that he took baby steps. He lost, I think he lost 30 grand the first year trading. He had to get to where he's at. And we all have to and we're all going to take different lengths of time to get to that point. So we all have to be patient. We all have to trade within ourselves so that we build a consistency that we need in order to sustain our trading career. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on this month. And the videos are going to be centered around the problems that you're going to run into trading that small account. So hopefully that's going to help a lot of people out, and hopefully, I can we can make a difference in some of you traders who are struggling right now with this small account. So I hope everybody has a great 4th of July weekend. Um, I'm ready to hit the road. Gonna go have some fun, and everybody be safe. And we'll see you Tuesday, bright and early in chat.